Getting turned around out here, it's super easy, but knowing which way you're headed, very important. Especially if you're out foraging and the day sets in, and you don't take into account the direction the sun changes as the day wears. When you thought you were heading one direction, you're actually heading the opposite way. Welcome sight. There's camp. Well, after that, I think I earned this one and only piece of jerky. That's good. Oh, there's a squirrel. Got him. Now the next goal is to get this fire started. Luckily, I got all this leaf tinder around here. Just gonna get that broken up. Put right there. And give a nice base. Put these back. Oh, I get some more stones. Even though the whole bed of the creek is stones, need some bigger ones. Keep that fire in. No matter where you go, being responsible with fire is a super important thing. Really just one miscalculation when it comes to fire, and you can have yourself a wildfire potential. That wouldn't be good. The risk of a fire is pretty low right now, but it doesn't mean there's not a risk. These big flat rocks are gonna reflect the heat back over towards me. For an overall more comfortable night as opposed to last night, which kind of sucked, but that's why it's called surviving, not thriving. I'm gonna try out a method that I have done before. I am just not that good at it. But a better time than the present. Develop a better skill. And I got a squirrel already dead. I cleaned him off camera, I apologize. I don't want to offend anybody. I have animal bleeding heart say what I did was unnecessary and it was animal abuse, even though I know there's skinning and gutting all over here. You can go to that content, find it right there. So I'm gonna make a fire stick. Use this to try and create a tinder. I just need to whittle this down a bit. To where I can get a hole in one end of it. Now I just got to drill a hole through it. My trusty knife here. Carve out a channel to that hole to allow the ember to fall through. And I can stand on that or step on that and work a fire stick. We want to get all our dry tinder in place. On the fire. What we don't want is to get our flame going and then be fumbling around trying to find a place to put it. That would be bad. Getting all our dried material ready before we get the fire started. Having it all stacked up the way we need it in order to accept a good flame. I found this caper bark a little ways back, and there's tons of it all over here. So once I found it and I started looking around and I saw some more here, I was like, oh, well, that's great. So what I'm gonna do with this is, as soon as I get my ember started, I'm gonna toss it in here and then just blow through it lightly, keeping air channel open. Now all that cedar that I found is what's gonna go inside here. So I've got that cedar and I'm gonna mash it up pretty good. And that's what's gonna take my ember. That's gonna sit right down in there. Just like that. Once I get my ember going, I can toss that in there and I can control how tight or loose I want this. And just blow on it. And that should catch flame. All right, I got my tinder ready. Got my board. Got my boot. See how long this takes. Oh. Oh, shit. Leaves on it. Here we go. We have fire. Oh, that's comforting. That's very comforting. More in there. That looks like it'll do. Yeah, I think that'll do. That'll do just fine. You never want to lay your skewers directly over the fire, or then they could burn, and then your meat will fall right in the flame, which still isn't going to be bad. You're just going to have to eat some bad meat. I mean, the meat will be good, you just got to eat ash. But not a big deal. I'm going to save you guys the horror of what was the gutting process, but I'm gonna strip him out. Just take his little leg quarters here. And that's what's gonna go up on my flame. It's not much meat, but something. The other leg. Rock here. Back that up. Right there. I feel that heat already. And the rest of him. I'm gonna drag that off and bury it. That way I don't have to have it around the fire. But while that's cooking up, I'm gonna go down here and get some water. Finding firewood's not actually that hard. I got plenty of it all around me. I decided to leave the rifle back there. I'm gonna head over here. Brought my trusty life straw with me. I'm gonna get myself a drink, fill up my canteen, bring it back over and boil some water. Even though might not have the cleanliest of options for water, this stream is running pretty well, and it's running pretty solid, so that means for the most part it's fresh. And it's not too far from where I'm at, so getting back and forth to it, not too much of a hassle, thankfully. And I can actively keep looking for food in between there and here. Whether I find anything or not is a different story. But if you're not looking, you won't find anything. Getting down here and getting a drink, probably one of the best moves I'm gonna do. Fucking briars. Oh! Walked right into that sucker. Right into that bad boy. That was not pleasant. Just trying to go around it. My pant leg drug it right back into me. Now, which way I want to go? I want to go. Here's a nice spot. Oh, that's good. Oh. Little baby trout just swam by in front of me. Maybe I'll make a fish spear. Probably not. All paths lead to home. I keep coming across new little stream beds. So that leads me to think this area washed out one time or another pretty bad and it deposited a lot of sediment because all these banks are just sandy as hell. It's like walking on a marshmallow with trees growing out of it. But each one of these feed back to another spot. So I can pretty much just follow them down. I'm definitely sure I'll come out of here. Of course, that's if I was lost. I pretty much know where I'm at. Oh yeah, I know where I'm at. I'm really sad with the amount of litter that I'm coming across. I've seen everything from beer bottles to beer cans, broken chairs, large chunks of styrofoam. This is open state land, and it's just disappointing that people don't do the due diligence to pick up after themselves when they're in the woods. It's kind of sad. I think we can do better. Yeah, it's hot. Duh. can make myself a little match. I got myself some chapstick here. Just rub a little bit on there. A little bit on the other side. A little bit on my lips. Pretty sure I need it. That should keep me aflame. Work like a charm. This is where the soup flavoring comes into play. All that soup I saved up. It's small, it's light. It's got sodium, which helps with water retention. And it's gonna be a nice base. Cook up my mushrooms that I gathered earlier. It's the little things. Needs garlic salt. When I came out, I had actually intended on bringing some seasoning packets with me, but I forgot about it. Had all these things running through my head. What should I bring? Ooh, that's cooled down. And I forgot the, ooh, that's not bad. And I forgot the damn garlic salt. Knee joint. Gotta walk out of here tomorrow. I thought about setting a trap down there. What I'm pretty sure is a coon hole. But more than likely it's gonna be an armadillo. And I don't eat armadillos. A lot of people told me they're good. I don't risk the leprosy. And I got 10 miles back, so get that over in the morning. Who knows, maybe something else will come out here. That'd be nice. It's gonna get chilly tonight. This is one of those, oh, I fucked up. I laid down for a bit and fell asleep and the fire went out. But still had some coals. We'll get her up. We'll send it. I'm gonna build it up because I'm not gonna keep it going all the way through the night. I'm just gonna build it up as big as I can. And then get as much sleep as I can. I got a long walk out ahead of me tomorrow. Really wish I had gotten some traps in. That'd have been nice. It would have been nice to have some meat for breakfast. But I still got berries. Got some blue haw berries I saved up. So I can eat those. That'll give me a little bit of food. Ah, here we go. Ah. It is comforting though. Get a good fire going. Just gonna let that burn. And we'll just put you right there. Hearing all the squirrels move about, it took me all day just to find one damn squirrel. Now they're all out roaming around. All the buggos away. Blue hawberry for dessert. Berries and cream.
I was quite sure I was going to be able to find some food out here, which I did. Berries and some mushroom soup. The drill fire worked a lot better than I thought it would. Even though the bow didn't work as good. I'm very out of practice with that though. Just more stuff for next time. Concentrate on that. Concentrate on your successes, not your failures. Usually the best. Right now, there's trout in that stream over there. If I wanted to, I'd go pull a trout out of that stream. Fishing is one of the easier ways to survive. There's a good amount of heat coming off this fire now. These rocks in the back are getting really hot and radiating. If I want to, since I've got my bed up off the ground, when this gets good and hot, I can take some of these rocks and I can toss them underneath. And that'll keep me warm for a couple hours at least. That'll be good. Even though this is my first episode of this, I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I come out here and do this all the time, but I never talk to a camera while I'm doing it. So it kind of makes me feel like I'm not out here alone. I can see the moon. It's nice and quiet. Only a couple things a man really needs. Good pipe. Good conversation. Fucking coyotes. Woke me up. Damn fucking bastards. Well, at least it's not getting too cold. Give me a chance to throw some more logs on the fire. Well, I slacked a bit last night and let the fire go out, but that was okay. It was actually not as cold as it's been. And I guess it's time for breakfast. Because I've still got that blue haw. So, and then I'm going to break this camp down. Because you always put back where you left it. Put back the way you found it. I'm kind of one of those leave no trace kind of guys. So, I won't even notice that I was here. And I got a good grip of them here. So, I know it looks like deer pellets. And when they fall on the ground, a lot of people confuse them for that. And you can actually eat deer poop too. You can actually eat that. But they got a pretty big seed on the inside. But the outside is almost just like a raisin. And you just scrape the flesh off with your teeth. Maybe some more blue haw will grow around here in case I come back here again. One little coal left of the fire. Figure why let it go to waste. In a tactical versus practical situation, if you're carrying a rifle with a sling, you always want to put your sling on first and your pack on last. Because if you have to dump your pack, you don't want to have to fumble with your rifle getting it off. Plus, then your rifle stays on your body. First in, last out. I'm just now noticing that I had some of that pine thorn next to me the whole night. It's called pine spike or bull spike. This guy here, I don't know if you can see that, there we go. This guy here, if I can get down to its root, this is a perennial closely related to like orchids. And they are always deep. Lost that one. Yeah, that one was attached to the other one. Let's see if I can find the root in there. Lost it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there we go. So these little tendrils that grow on it, edible. The bottom of the stalk is edible. Really, the whole plant is edible. Right now, I'm not that hungry. Edibility, a lot of things break down to just because you can doesn't mean you should. I can eat a lot of things out here, but they'll mess up with my gut. A lot of them will throw your metabolism out of balance. A lot of them will lower your blood pressure too low. You're just gonna feel tired all the time. A lot of them will increase your blood pressure, and you're gonna feel over anxious, or extremely agitated. What's that?
Thought I saw a mushroom. It's chanterelle season, but I don't think there's been enough rainfall for chanterelles to be out all over. Normally, this would be like prime area on the side of a bank. Prime area for chanterelles to be growing. And I haven't seen a single one. So, hiking out, I didn't notice this last night when I came into this area because I didn't look back, which I should have. But hiking in, out from the water, when I went to get water, I found this little guy right here. So there's a lot of activity around that hole. You can see all the dirt that's been stirred up and the little tracks that are in there. So this is a perfect spot for me to set a spring trap. So I'm gonna make a rudimentary spring trap with a snare and show you what that would be like if I had actually hunted on this spot. So a spring trap is one of the more traditional ways of capturing an animal that is actually super quick and effective. So we're gonna need two things here. We're gonna need a piece of wood. We got a piece of wood. And we're gonna need something to attach that to. Now one rope, we're gonna make our sorry, brain fog. One rope we're gonna need to make into our little capture noose. Our snare. So that's just a basic snare. We're gonna attach the snare. This little guy here, this little piece of rope. This is gonna be our trigger mechanism to set the snare off. And I'm just gonna do a basic square knot. And in addition to that, we're gonna need something to act as a spring. And we've got this tree right here. That looks like it's gonna make a pretty good spring. Yeah. So now, we've got our spring. We've got our spring. We're gonna attach another rope to that. At a good point where it won't come loose if the animal that we catch is struggling. Again, I'm just gonna do another simple square knot in that. And then that, we're gonna attach to our trigger. Again, just another simple square knot. And you could double that knot at that if you want. Now, we're gonna attach our trigger to where we want to set it, to a good wedge point, like that. Careful not to set it off. We want to get that to where it's just barely hanging in there. There we go. Now our snare, we're going to spread out around that hole there as much as we can to encourage that animal to walk through there. Just like that. Just like that. So what happens is the animal's going to come through here Once it gets caught on the snare, it's going to pull the trigger loose, and that's going to release the spring. So, it'll look a little something like this. The animal comes through, gets caught on the snare, and as it tries to run away, it pulls the trigger loose, setting off the spring and choking. And that is a basic string trap.
You can also make these to throw spikes, and that's called a spike trap. So this would have been useful last night. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. Because this is a perfect spot for it, and I wish I had noticed that it was even here. This would have been a perfect opportunity to try and catch whatever. And I could see it came out, scraped around. There's little scratches, so I'm pretty sure. Again, remember, I don't need an armadillo. I'm pretty sure that's an armadillo. But there you go. Let's get moving. Look at that. Another stream bed. Let's see where this one goes. There's a lot of deer tracks here. It's like a deer superhighway right here. And all of these are fresh. Extremely fresh. This is hostile territory. Just amazed. I'm not finding the amount of edibles that I really thought I'd be able to come across. I mean, yeah, it's fall. There's still a large amount of moisture in the ground. And that should equate to some mushrooms, or at least some small perennials sticking around for a little while. Oh. And to think, I've done this about 7-8 times. I think in the last 2.5 days, I've got somewhere like 40 miles on me. Maybe more. I'm gonna say more. Definitely more. Definitely more. Be glad to get out of here.
With over 47,000 acres to explore in the Ozarks, this challenge is far from over. As the season wears on, my options are going to become even more limited. What routes will I take? What things may cross my path? What options will I choose? What methods will I use? Only time will tell.